Lisa from the HOA dialed the cops on me because, in her words, your pigs are terrorizing the neighborhood. One small issue, I don't own pigs. I've got chickens, and the only thing terrorizing anyone around here is her 5 feet 2 inches frame of shrieking entitlement, armed with a clipboard like it's the Declaration of Independence. The police rolled up expecting a barnyard uprising and left with a dozen eggs and a newfound appreciation for my composting game. That, though, was just the opening salvo in what turned into a suburban showdown. I'm no pushover. I live on a ranch that's been in my family for 3 generations. It's not some sprawling empire, but it keeps me and my son occupied with chickens, a couple of cows, and 3 goats so lazy they might as well be on strike. My property sits at the edge of a suburban sprawl that crept up like kudzu over the last few decades. Once surrounded by farms, it's now hemmed in by cookie-cutter McMansions and folks who think food magically appears in stores. I never joined the local HOA. My land's too big, too unique, and far too stubborn to bend to their petty rules. I've got the paperwork to prove I'm grandfathered in legally and otherwise, but that doesn't stop Lisa. Her real name's Diane, but Lisa suits her better. She's the HOA president, self-appointed guardian of the cul-de-sac, and a walking assault on reason. From the moment her minivan first cruised past my fence, she's acted like my ranch is a personal affront to her home's resale value. The barn's an eyesore, the chickens unhygienic, the cows too noisy, and once she even griped that the smell of hay was too rural. I'm not kidding. Most neighbors don't mind, some even love the cheap, fresh eggs I sell, and a few bring their kids over to pet the goats and learn where food really comes from. But Lisa? She once slipped a note in my mailbox that read, "This is a residential zone, not a farm." I sent it back stapled to an egg carton and left it on her doorstep. Not my finest hour, but I'd do it again. Trouble really kicked off 2 months back when egg prices shot up. My little egg gig turned into a neighborhood sensation. Cars lined up on Saturdays, word spread, and I became the egg guy. I started packing extra cartons and threw up a hand-painted sign, "Farm Fresh Drive-Through Eggs." Corny? Sure. Effective? You bet. Lisa, though, lost it. She stormed up my driveway one afternoon, her usual yelling drowned out by 30 hens clucking away, and pointed at my sign. "You're running a business in a residential area. That's illegal," she bellowed. I calmly reminded her again that my land's zoned agricultural. I can sell what I grow, and her HOA has zero say. She stomped off, but I could tell she was plotting. That night, my son caught her sneaking onto our property. We've got cameras everywhere. It's a ranch, not a fortress, but you've got to watch for critters, including HOA ones. She was skulking by the chicken coop, flashlight in hand, like some bargain bin treasure hunter. She came back twice more that week, each time slipping away with eggs stuffed in her bag. We saw it all on tape, her swiping eggs like a deranged Easter bandit. I didn't confront her yet. I wanted more proof. Then the cops showed up again, 2 cars, lights flashing. I was feeding the cows when they pulled in. "We got a complaint about loose livestock and noise," one officer said, looking sheepish. "Loose livestock?" I asked, pointing at my cows munching behind a solid fence. "And aggressive pigs," the other added, reading his notes. "Pigs," I said flat. "I don't have pigs." They walked the property, found nothing amiss, no smells, no chaos, no imaginary swine, and left with eggs and pickles. One suggested I hit up the farmer's market. Nice guy. That night, Lisa strutted up to my fence, face red, phone in hand like a grenade. "You might think you won, but you'll regret this," she hissed. "Regret what?" I asked, leaning on the gate. "Your fake pig story, or the fact you've been stealing eggs?" "I've got footage, lots of it." She froze, then spat, "You're bluffing." I grinned. 5 trail cams and a 15-year-old who edits GoPro clips for kicks. "Want to roll the dice?" She bolted, rattled. But this wasn't over, it was just round 1. Lisa didn't quit. She doubled down. The next morning, I found tire tracks by my barn and high-heel prints in the mud. She'd come back with a zoning inspector and tow, a guy who clearly didn't want to be there. She waved at my coop and barn, ranting about codes. I handed over my permits, all in order and laminated. The inspector shrugged after 10 minutes. "Looks fine," he said. Lisa erupted. "Fine? You can't allow this." He cut her off. "It's legal. No HOA jurisdiction." She stormed off, vowing it wasn't over. That night, things got weirder. My son found a fake plastic egg in the coop, tucked among the real ones. Inside was a note in glittery pink cursive. I warned you. Who threatened someone with Easter crafts? I reported it to the sheriff, handing over footage of Lisa planting it. The deputy watched, shook his head, and said, "This woman's unhinged." The egg craze hit peak absurdity after that. People banged on my gate at all hours, so I put up a sold-out chalkboard. Then I caught Lisa whispering to a customer, claiming my eggs were tainted. I laughed so hard I nearly dropped a tomato crate. My hens are pristine. I've got vet records to prove it. She was out here spinning tales like a low-rent chef. VY Lane. I started building a Lisa file, trespassing clips, false reports, neighbor testimonies. The jackpot. My son's drone caught her pulling one of my egg cartons from her shed. Was she hoarding them? Meanwhile, she launched a petition, "Remove agricultural nuisance," and hid up doors. Most laughed her off, but a few signed. She posted my barn pics online with captions like, "Is this allowed?" It backfired when a PTA mom praised my eggs and called her a subdvy shown dictator. My customers tripled. Lisa unraveled pacing my fence with a camera, snapping pics like a paparazzo. I waved with an egg basket. She tripped. Then came her big play. It was a Saturday when she snapped. I was tending the cows when my son ran up, saying someone was yelling in the barn. I found Lisa inside, screaming at my cow Daisy, tugging her rope like she'd budge. Her clipboard was on the ground, one shoe missing. "What are you doing?" I demanded. "Getting rid of them," she shrieked. "This is residential." I told her she was trespassing and to back off my animals. She ignored me, so my son called the sheriff. As the lights neared, she dropped, clutching her ankle, wailing that I'd attacked her. I handed the cops my security drive, her breaking in, harassing Daisy, faking the fall. "Pressing charges," I said. They cuffed her as she raged about HOA power. She was gone by week's end, house sold, off to some pet-free gated community. The HOA chilled out after that. Rules eased, chicken bans lifted, and folks started coops. I hosted a harvest fair, hayrides, petting zoo, eggs galore. Lisa sent a petty do la 8.27 check for the eggs. I kept it as a trophy. Her stink lingered briefly. Some cronies tried a last-ditch complaint, but my permits shut it down. A VY Rao article later dubbed her an HOA tyrant, and the ranch became a community hub. I hung a sign by the coop, "Fresh eggs, no leases allowed." Peace feels good.